It's John and Mike from brew-news.com. It's another video tonight. What do we got in front of us here? Another little 5 ounces
of heaven, man. 5 ounces of heaven. So, you know, we're all into brewing for the festival crowd. It's summertime. We have parties at the house. I have a keg.
We sell tickets.
We don't. Well,
I sold tickets.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't tell. I guess I got in for free. I got comped. So I brewed a beer, and it really was just, okay, people like hoppy beers, and I'm not going to brew a big A. I said A. I censored myself. I was going to say a big ass, and I said big A. A big ass IPA. I'm just going to brew a hoppy American Pale Ale. So something in a, 1050-ish starting gravity. Nothing too heavy. Because, I mean, if you're brewing for a festival crowd, the worst thing you can have is a riot on your hands, okay? Big crowds, they can turn on you quick. So we need to brew,
especially when you've sold tickets.
Yes, I know. And they're like, well, I'm ripping this place apart because I felt the privilege to do so since I've paid for entry. So this is just a pale ale. And it's funny because I had a little bit of inspiration, not really looking for a clone recipe or anything like that, but the main brewing company makes a beer called Lunch. And it's kind of a golden, hazy beer. Hoppy, but not so strong in terms of the alcohol content, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted something that it was hop absorptive, but not too much, and then kind of follow what we're seeing in terms of late stage hopping in your boil, and see how that came out. Now, I'll let Mike take a few sips, talk about it, and then I can talk about how this all came together, because I don't have the recipe here in front of me. We're going to post it in the description below so you can take a look at what it's all about. But I'm going to have Mike just take a sip and start telling me what he's perceiving from this particular beer.
Well, the aroma for sure is that new age hop profile, like hop bag profile, a dusty hop pellet type of aroma. But there's definitely notes of fruit and citrus in there, which is fruit, but tropical fruit, some citrus fruit. There isn't a lot of pine in the aroma, or a lot of resin in the aroma.
Yep. Although
maybe that character I described as powdery pellets is actually resiny. Maybe
possibly.
Maybe I should do some research into that.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, the aroma is right there. The beer is not a haze bomb. We're up here in the Northeast, the New England IPA debate rages on online. But it's got a moderate amount of what I would consider to be hop haze, and I only say that it must be hop haze because most of the time your beers of this color range are fairly clear, so no ding intended there. The hop flavor is right in the same type of aroma carries through in the hop flavor. I get that hop pellet bag flavor, I get some of the fruit, I get some of the citrus. It's not aggressively bitter. I don't get like a resiny bitter charge or a lingering bitterness, but the hop flavor definitely sticks around in my mouth and hangs in there. The malt bill is very soft. I don't recall exactly what the malt bill is, but it's soft.
I'll tell you.
And it's fairly gentle. It's
It's
really just holding together the beer and letting the hops do their thing.
And that was my plan. So I'll tell you a little bit about the recipe.
I would say Lunch is a little more aggressive than this.
Yeah, it is. That's for sure.
But it's reminiscent of all those beers. Lunch, even a little. It's a little bit heady topper like.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Congress Street from Trillium. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a pale ale, not the double IPA version.
Exactly.
So it's actually it's like a session double IPA, which I hate those terminologies, but because you know what we call that? A pale ale.
Yeah, and it is a pale ale. So.
Okay.
So my thought, this is for a 5-gallon batch, and the recipe again below will verify all these numbers. I will type it out and put it online. But from my brain box up here, for a 5-gallon batch, my grain bill was 10 pounds Maris Otter, 1 pound of Pilsner malts. So I thought that the Pilsner would help dry out the aftertaste and the finish.
Be honest, you had Pilsner malt like propping open your door fridge, and you figured I got to use this up.
No, I bought it. I did. I bought it fresh. That would be a likely story, right? Like, oh, Pilsner malt from some other brew. Like, oh, I got a pound left. Let's do something with this. So, again, only 11 pounds of grain for a 5-gallon batch. The big difference for this beer than the other pales that I've brewed in the recent past is that I stuck with hops that I kind of knew the profiles a lot better. I think, we've been going down these rabbit holes of Eldorado hops and Equinox and Mosaic and so on and so forth. Heck, we'll know Jarillo in a week or so. But anyway, I thought I'd stick with ones that I kind of knew and knew were used in commercial examples around here. So Simcoe is, I bittered with a little bit, like 60, at the 60-minute mark. I don't know if it was like a quarter of an ounce or a half an ounce, just a little bit through at the beginning of the boil, just to get that kind of piney, resiny thing going on there. It's I detected a lot in the aftertaste, which makes sense.
I get it just sitting here, yeah.
Yep, and then it kind of went this way. Now, I think at 30 minutes, I threw in some Chinook, and then I broke the golden rule. Like, you're not supposed to throw in any hops between 30 minutes and Flameout, or 30 minutes and maybe 5 minutes to go. But I threw something in 15 because I wanted to get kind of more of a flavor profile of Cascade. So I threw in some.
Your layer.
I'm trying to layer, but everyone's telling me, like everybody, like I've read in maybe a couple places.
Well, those people don't have YouTube channels.
Don't throw anything between. They probably don't. Between 30 minutes and 5 or 30 minutes and Flameout. But I threw it in 15 minutes Cascade because I wanted to see if I could. Cascade is a known flavor profile for me at least, and certainly a lot of people. Could I pull that through into this finished beer? And then I think probably 5 minutes ago, Centennial, and then a Flameout Citra, and because I had an extra patch of Equinox, and I really wanted to get where I thought it should be, which is at the end, more of that tropical fruit thing going on, to see if I could get, because I think the trouble we had with Equinox, again, the most pungent hop that I've ever encountered right out of the packet, is that when I did that smash and I had it like further in the boil, like I did something at 60 minutes, it came out of, like that, the bitterness that it imparts in the beer was that green pepper, that onion, the garlicky, and I don't know if I liked it. I didn't like it, so I thought, let's just throw it in at Flameout and Whirlpool or whatever, not Whirlpool, but chill, and then let's ferment from there. So that's what I got. I didn't dry hop at all with this beer. Didn't dry hop at all because I was in a kind of a rush to get it into the keg and carbonated, and I didn't have a proper mesh bag to put hops in to actually dry hop in the keg. At some point I will. I think that's probably another adventure. But for this one I didn't. As I said, there's 6 ounces of hops in this. I'm not trying to blow anybody's face off with hops. So let's see how this goes. So that's that. Mash temp was, I don't remember, but it was probably around 1050, 1052. And then here's where I got a little crafty. I used a packet of 005 and a packet of 004 to see what would happen. So I don't know.
Two dry yeasts.
Two dry yeasts from Safe Ale. Safe Ale?
USO5 and SO4.
Yeah, and 04.
I've done that before.
Yeah. So that's what
I like
you
that
got
combination.
Here. Yeah. Then it actually kind of flocked out really. It was weird. Some of it didn't, and then some did. It was like big, big clumpy things of yeast doing its thing, and then the US 005 ale seemed to be just in suspension, doing its thing, like counteracting the clumpiness that was happening lower in the carboy. So that's what I got, brah. What do you think?
I think for a beer that saw 6 different packages of hops come at it, it has weathered the storm well, and it is not a super aggressively hoppy or bitter beer. It is just a hop-forward beer.
Yeah.
And I also find it interesting that, like, I don't really get a big Centennial Cascade, like 1-2 punch, despite them being added in that middle flavor profile. It just feels like that Citra Equinox thing is what's running the show, and maybe those other hops are just giving a supporting character.
Yeah, see,
I like it. I mean, I really do like the combination.
I agree. I think. Yeah, see, I'm dealing with like the aftermath of it, but I should try this again. Not if I had an infinite amount of time, I would love to try this again without like bittering with something other than Simcoe.
Nugget.
Not even well, even cleaner than Nugget. Say like Magnum or something. Like that.
Or like Nugget.
Or like Nugget.
I love Nugget.
You love. So I'll bitter with Nugget and
I brewed a beers with Nugget,
and then another batch with Magnum and see
yeah.
what's going on. But because that's what I'm getting a lot in the bitterness and the aftertaste is kind of this piney.
I have some really
thing.
minty Warrior hops up there.
Yeah, see, I don't want that. We've already discussed that. I don't want.
I'm going to age those for another 20 years, and I'll use them for lambic brewing or something.
So that's the only thing that I could say, like that. If there was one thing I would change to improve, that's what I would do. I'd use more of a clean bittering hop to start off with, and see how that affected the overall hop profile in the beer once it's finished. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
So, again, festival style beer, man. Had to put something together for the festival crowd.
Yes.
And
It's all good.
It is good.
I think it was a success.
Thanks, man. I think that even though there was other things to drink there, the keg was pretty empty when I was cleaning up the next day.
Starting to float?
Yeah. It was. I picked it up and was like, wow, this is much lighter than than when I set it up just probably 12 hours earlier.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's it. That's all I got. So,
awesome.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these kinds of videos where we're just sitting around drinking, talking about beers, and maybe talking about the beers that you brew or whatever, please subscribe. If you like it, like it. If you want to comment, comment. If not, that's cool too. Just watch. And we put something like this out every week, and we enjoy doing it. I hope you guys enjoy watching, because we'll keep doing it until it gets tired and old, and you hate us. So that's the plan.
Tell your friends.
Can't wait. See it in 20 years. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Brew on and brew on.
Cheers.